Hello there YouTube, and welcome to this first episode of the Let's Play of The Long Dark. Now, I am not a particular expert at this game, and I'm also not a particular expert at recording Let's Plays, so this will be an interesting voyage of discovery. It's just taken me a significant amount of time to get the recording set up so that it's actually got a decent resolution on it, rather than it making everything a horrible blur for you. Because this game being a horrible blur would be a great shame. It's a very beautiful game, very, very artistic in the way it's designed, in the way its art's put together, the music, the sound effects. It's all a very, I would say, a wonderful experience if it weren't for the fact that this is a survival game, and so the experience tends to be one of freezing to death, starving to death, dying of thirst, being savaged by wolves, falling to your death off a cliff when you break both your legs, and various other horrible things that have happened to me in the short span of time I've put into this game. So I am not an expert at this by any means. I tend to play on one of the easiest difficulty levels, in fact the second easiest difficulty level, which I believe is Voyager, if I'm remembering correctly. And I am a relative neophyte at this. I know very vaguely, I know the control system, I know how to kind of make a fire, I know how to run away from wolves, I learned that very early on, and basically I know how to stumble my way around the game, but I don't know the map, I don't know much of the survival techniques involved, and so this Let's Play will probably be dominated quite a lot by me dying repeatedly. But I hope that it will at least give some of you an insight, if you've not already played the game, into what the game is like and whether it might be the type of game that you would enjoy. I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit because the crescendo is dominating my headphones a little bit at the moment. Now, there are two modes for The Long Dark. Wintermute is the episodic story mode, which in fact was only released relatively recently at the time of recording this, and currently has, I believe it's 2 full episodes done. It's interesting, it's quite well done, it's a good introduction to the mechanics of the game, and it does add quite a nice story element to it. But the mode that I'm most familiar with is the survival mode, which is effectively the, if you like, the sandbox mode set in the overarching world map, where the goal is to basically survive for as long as possible without dying. Which is more challenging than it might initially appear. There are also some challenge modes involved, which are relatively new. I've not played any of these. I know there is one where, in fact there are 2, where you are continually hunted down by a bear, which sounds utterly terrifying. So those could be of interest if you're the type of person who enjoys having like set objectives to achieve, or indeed Wintermute could be the type for you if you particularly enjoy story mode. It does appear, as I say, to be quite well done as far as story modes in sandbox-based games go. I quite like it. But I'm going to stick with survival mode for this Let's Play. So let's go into the survival mode and we'll start a new game. So you can see here there are 4 standardised difficulty modes and the ability to customise your difficulty to yourself, which is great. I think that's a relatively recent addition. I don't recall seeing that previously. So the 4 modes are Pilgrim, which is for new or inexperienced players most interested in the exploration side of it. It's a bit more forgiving. A major thing is that the wildlife won't attack you unless it's provoked, which I think makes the game a little bit less tense. And it allows for 5 active feats, which are things you achieve after playing the game for some time, which can carry over between playthroughs. I have no feats. That gives you some idea of how experienced I am in this game. Voyager is the one that I'm most used to playing in my short span of time, which is kind of a balance between exploration and surviving. Wolves will attack you if you get close to them, as bears might as well. I understand there's now a moose in the game as well, which is literally has just happened today, as far as I'm aware. And so that's a kind of a more balanced one. Stalker is more difficult, so hostile wildlife is more common, the survival elements are more challenging, and Interloper is the one that I've seen other Let's Players play, which looks absolutely horrifically punishing. I may choose to try that at some point, but I suspect I would just crawl away in tears, a broken and shattered man at the end of it. So instead we're going to go with Voyager. And you have to choose your starting region. I'm quite familiar with Mystery Lake, which has some areas of shelter for you. It's a good starting point for, as it says, for new players. You have the Coastal Highway for intermediate players. You have Desolation Point. You have Pleasant Valley, Timberwolf Mountain, which is quite punishing indeed. Forlorn Muskeg, which I have never played. The Broken Railroad, similarly. Mountain Town, which I think is a new addition, which is taken from the story mode, but they've now actually put it into the sandbox game as well. So you can start here for the sandbox mode, sorry, just reading the description there, or you can start in a random region. Tempting though that is, I'm terrified that this Let's Play would end very abruptly if we started on Timberwolf Mountain, so we will start at Mystery Lake, because this is the part of the game most people will experience initially if they do the survival mode. And we have to pick a male or a female survivor. We're going to pick a male survivor for this playthrough. I've played both. There is no difference between them other than the fact that one is male and one is female. It doesn't make the game any particularly different or harder or easier or anything like that. So just pick whichever one you feel like playing, particularly if you're expecting to role-play your way through the game. Pick one that most aligns with the character you want to play. And we will call this one Let's Play, because that's what we're doing. A mysterious geomagnetic storm has brought your plane crashing down into the northern Canadian wilderness. How long can you survive? Probably not very long. Let's find out. Life is an error-making and error-correcting process, and nature in marking man's papers will grade him for wisdom, as measured both by survival and by the quality of life of those who survive. Jonas Salk. Okay. We have started off, oh excellent, we have started off inside the camp office. This is a major benefit. Wow, okay. So, very quickly, we are indoors. If I press tab, it will give me a little brief HUD to tell me various things. Bottom left is my health, bottom of the screen is my current temperature, my tiredness, my thirst and my hunger levels. You can see the last three of those are gradually dropping. That's what the downwards arrow signifies. I'm continually tapping the tab button to keep this up, by the way. And top right you can see it tells me effectively the time of day, which, judging by where the sun is like early morning effectively. This normal WASD key and mouse control to move around. If I hit I go to my inventory. So currently I have, and these are different categories of things within your inventory. The first one just shows you everything. So fire starting equipment, we have some accelerant, which makes fires burn quicker effectively and allows much easier starting of fires. Very valuable, that stuff. A tinder plug. You need tinder to start fires. You cannot start a fire without any tinder at all. So whether that's tinder plug or something else that serves the purpose of tinder, you want tinder all the time. This is something that I have learned very quickly in my playthroughs previously. And matches. So a method of starting fire. Excellent. That's helpful. Time is still ticking away while I'm in the inventory screen, I believe, so don't assume that just because you're in your inventory you're okay. I could be wrong on that, I haven't tested that fully actually. First aid supplies, we have a bottle of antiseptic, which is useful for if you get wounded, particularly from wolf attacks. Bandages, similarly, and painkillers, which is useful for any sort of injury you may find yourself in. This includes accidentally walking off a cliff backwards because you're not looking at what you're doing, which I have done before. I have various bits of clothing, all of which I believe I'm wearing. We'll come on to the clothing menu in a second. Food and drink, I have a cup of coffee, which is cold. You can heat stuff up on a fire. These are randomised when you start a game, by the way. Your inventory is slightly randomised. I don't know if it's got a set of things that it gives you, but you don't always start with a cup of coffee, at least I haven't previously. I have an orange soda. These are quite handy because they give you 250 calories. Calories are very important in this game, and we'll come on to that in a second, but it also quenches your thirst a bit. And we have a tin of sardines, which gives you 300 calories. The little percentage here is the condition of the object, so you can see these things are a little bit lower. You probably don't want to eat food that's particularly low. I think sardines will be fine, but if you have meat that is particularly low, it can make you ill, and you don't want to get ill when you're close to death, because it tends to stop it being close and makes it here. We have a bedroll, which is useful if you get caught outside and need to sleep, although frankly if you've been caught outside and need to sleep you're probably dead already. And we have a flare, which is loud enough to scare wildlife, as the description describes there. All of these things have a weight. This is the total weight you can carry at the moment, 30. That can change, usually downwards as you get tireder. So here we have some bandage in the tools area as well. It's duplicated from here. It's the same item. Effectively, we have two bandages, which is shown here and it's shown here. Clothing menu. This is me. I look nothing like this in real life, just to clarify. So we have bits of clothing we can wear on our head. We can wear two things on our head, and we have no head clothing at the moment, so neither of them allows us to select anything. Torso, you can wear 4 things on your torso, so this is the layering effect. Currently I'm just wearing a decent sweatshirt, which is quite good. It gives me a slight bonus to how much I can handle the cold, how wind resistant it is. It's 10% water resistant, it gives me 2% damage reduction, doesn't have any effect on how quickly I move, and it's at 87% condition and it weighs 1/4 kilo. That's what all of those things there mean. Hands, I'm wearing some gloves. I have no other gloves, so I can't scroll left or right. I have no accessories. I am wearing decent jeans and some decent thermal underwear, which is quite handy. I wear some decent wool socks, and I've got some ragged running shoes as well. All of this basically gives me an overall warmth bonus of 3 degrees C, a windproof bonus of 1 degree C, 9% protection, and my sprint speed is 97% of what it would be if I were utterly unencumbered and naked. But frankly, that's not recommended. On my status menu here, I'm currently not suffering from any afflictions. This is where you get things like hypothermia, broken ribs, things like that. Yes, I am right, the timer is ticking away, because you can see my overall calorie store here currently is slowly ticking down. Just by standing still, you're burning calories. And if that gets to 0, that means that your hunger bar has hit the bottom, and at that point you start to take damage on your health bar down here, which you can use to game the system a little bit, but basically it means you're starving to death. If your calories are at 0, you are in the process of starving, and if your calories are at 0 and your health is 0, you have starved to death. I'm fairly warm at the moment. Indoors it feels like 0 degrees C. This is important because this is the sum of, I believe, the outside temperature, the wind chill, and what you're wearing. So you see on what I'm wearing, I get a warmth bonus of +3. So +3 added to -3 added to 0 is an overall 0. So I'm staying fairly static here at the moment. I am currently rested, but that's dropping slowly. You will get more tired as time goes on. My thirst is fully slaked, but similarly that will drop. And I am peckish, and that will drop over time, which is represented by this here. This is the crafting menu. So you can craft various things in the game. I haven't done a lot on the crafting side of things, but you can see here you can craft tinder plugs out of you can craft tinder out of sticks. I never knew that. Okay, that's a new discovery for me already. That does kind of make obvious sense. I can't believe I didn't realise that. But there are various things. These are what you need in order to craft the thing over here, and this is how long it will take you. And there are various categories of things you can craft, including like tools and weapons and things like that, and food. You have some notes here, so you have your log. So I have discovered one location on day 1. It's the Mystery Lake Camp office because I started here. How much of the world have I explored? How many hours were rested? And some various other stats here. You can also make notes, random notes in your journal here, which is quite handy. There is a skills set in this game, so you build these things up by doing. That's how you learn. So fire starting, if you start a fire, you will gradually build up this skill bar here, and eventually you'll get a higher skill level, and that will change your chance to start fires, as an example. And collections, you can collect notes and cairns from within the game, or discover cairns, not collect them, that would be a little bit sacrilegious. And you can make general notes here, which line up with your daily notes that you can make here too. And there are some overall stats here. So, yes, you can see that overall I've survived a grand total of 4 days. That's not very much. Yes, this is not a massively great game for me at the moment. And I have a map. I have never updated this map. You update the map in the game by getting charcoal and then standing outside and drawing a map. Your character draws the map. You don't actually have to draw it yourself, because then, well, you could just make one yourself, which I know some people have done, which is very impressive to me. So you can actually build up a map of the world. But this is the overall world map here. Yeah, we are currently in Pleasant Valley. Here we are. So Timberwolf Mountain is that way, and everything else is the other way. So that's useful to know. Let's go back to our region map, which we don't have yet. So we are currently indoors. Let's just pop outdoors and see what the weather is like. Left click to act on stuff. So we are now in the outside world. We are in Mystery Lake, so called because of the lake. Mystery solved. And then there is a birds. And there is a little hut up on poles there by the looks of it. I've not actually been all the way over there. That's quite cool. So outside, if I go into my menu, you see out here it feels like -18. My warmth is dropping rapidly. That's why there are 3 arrows there. But, of course, you have to be outside to get certain things. The outside world is a place you have to go sometimes. So if I go here, you can harvest rose hips. The fruit of a wild rose bush can be used to make a tea that helps manage pain. That sounds useful. I'll take that. Oh, no, I don't want to break down that. No. You can break down scrub and things like that into wood, which is quite handy, but I think I've got quite a bit of stuff indoors there, which I will go and have a look at when I need to go indoors, but it's morning at the moment, and so I want to kind of get out here and have a look around a little bit. Not quite sure what that noise was. That was a little bit scary. Let's have a look over here. See, there's a railway line here. I remember this from one of my previous playthroughs. Oh, and sticks. We will take sticks, just because you don't need to break them up or anything. You can literally just pick them up. Birds are very active this time in the morning. And you can press shift to run. Or hold down shift to run, rather. You can see the little stamina bar decreasing on the right-hand side there. And if you release, you will stop running. There is no jumping in this game. If you press space, you get up your quick menu, which allows you to do various things. This includes selecting weapons and things like that when you have weapons. I currently have none, which is why that is unavailable to me. And there is the fishing village over that way, which I will go and visit as soon as the temperature warms up a little bit. Given it's early morning, the temperature should warm up a little bit later. Birds, I know, typically represent dead people. Is that what this is? Oh god. There's a corpse out here. Okay, fine. Are they carrying anything useful? No. They're literally just there for decoration. But we will take the crow feathers, because... well, because why not? It's horrible. Go away. Vultures, all of them. I mean, not literally, but... okay, see, my warmth has now dropped quite a lot. I'm going to go back indoors and explore around while there's still light to do so. So this is the camp office. So what do we have over here? We have a crate, and we have an orange soda, which we will take. Food is useful to get at the start of the game, because generally you won't have built up a stock of it anywhere. The usual approach I take is to try and hunker down in a location, and then kind of store stuff there. Oh, can opener. Can opener is a very useful tool. I could use this indeed. You're right, other version of me. Well done. So let's explore... there's a wheel. I require a hatchet to break down a wheel. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. Granola bar, we'll take food. Pork and beans, we'll take food. That's where the can opener will come in handy. Is that bandages? Yep, bandages are also useful. You never need them until you need them, and then when you do, you really, really need them. Chairs you can break down, stacks of paper. Let's search through the filing cabinet. It's not proving very promising here. Okay. What do we have here? More cans. Ooh, what's this? Lantern fuel. Yep, we'll take that. Oh, and a whetstone for sharpness. Oh, and a lantern. There we are. To use with the lantern fuel. Or to use the lantern fuel with, depending on your preference. We have a workbench here, which is really useful. This is why the camp office is quite a nice place to set up, I'm told, because you have access to the workbench, you have access to like all the little huts over the lake, which we'll go and explore later on, and so it's quite a nice place. Ooh, antiseptic. Yeah, we'll take that. And a bandage. And an energy bar. Yep, we'll take all of that good stuff. How much carry weight have I got? I'm only carrying 9. We're fine. Right, let's have a look upstairs. So yeah, this is apparently quite a useful place to set up, because you've got all the useful tools here, you've got access to stuff nearby, you can probably survive here for quite some time. You know, you've got cloth, you've got a frozen corpse in the corner. I mean, who doesn't want a frozen corpse in the corner? I mean, I don't really, but I don't think there's a way to get rid of them.
Being useful.
Okay, more. We'll leave the running shoes. I'm not going to take his shoes. It's kind of morbid, really. Ooh, a Survive the Outdoors book. Researching this will improve your survival skill, a fire starting skill, in fact. Okay, we will take that, and we will research it at a future date. This is just a normal book which you can burn. Hooray! Right, there's nothing else immediately on the shelf. We can break down the shelf itself later. Ooh.
That'll come in handy.
Decent trail boots. Those could be useful. Are they better than what we're wearing currently? So we scroll left and right, it will give us the little green arrows and little red arrows indicate whether it's better or worse. So it slows us down and it's heavier, but everything else is better. So we'll wear that. And then I think we will... drop these ones here. We don't need to carry spare shoes with us. It's just kind of additional weight. If we are going to make, set up camp here.
Needs this anymore.
Oh, yes, a toque. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It did just tell me, and I didn't actually read it. Toque, a toque. We will wear the toque, which gives us a nice bonus to our heat, which should allow us to kind of not die for a bit longer. And some ragged cargo pants. We'll take those because I think, yeah, we can wear another layer. Why not? Let's put those on. It's an outer layer that can take a bit of punishment. That's good to know. Right, we can break down the hunting knife. But we have a bed. This is useful, and it's a bed next to a stove, which is very useful. So we can start fires here, and that will keep us warm. There's a bedroll there, but we already have a bedroll. Another book is handy because you can start fires with it. More granola, more cloth there. A note left behind. Let's read it. Beansy and I came up this way in the summers when we were knock-kneed goofy kids. We fished and played with swords made out of sticks, wove leaky baskets from the reeds. You could row across the lake. Those little cabins at the far end where the tourists came and fished, hunted the deer and had their parties. We stood behind the counter and watched Dad welcome them, looked at the guest book and read the names. When the summer was nearing its end and the cattails turned to fluff, we blew our wishes to the sky, always to come back, always. Contributed by backer number 4675. Nice. I will leave that here because it's suitable to be here. Oh, there's a book. We'll burn that. Right, and there's nothing in the crates, but there are the crates which you can use for wood. Okay, what time is it? It's kind of getting on for midday. I'm carrying 12. Right, I'm going to put stuff in this top drawer, and we are going to put away some of the slightly heavier stuff. So we'll put away a couple of books. I'm going to put away Survive in the Outdoors because I will read that when we get back later. We don't need like all of this antiseptic, so we'll put that away. We will keep all the clothing because we're wearing it. We'll leave the coffee. I mean, the coffee doesn't weigh much, but it weighs enough that we don't want to carry it around. We'll take all the rest of the stuff because we can chow our way through that. Lantern we'll probably want. Bedroll we will take with us just in case. It's like a backup of a backup option. Rose hips we'll leave here. And the crow feathers we'll leave here. We'll take the sticks and then we'll leave one or two of the bandages here. We'll take the accelerant just in case. And yeah, that's fine. Okay, 9.65 kilos. Now, assuming it's a little bit warmer outside, which is a fairly bold assumption, I think we should go and explore one of the fishing huts, which I know are on the lake. Oh, snowing. Minus 17. Let's get out in the wind and see if it's as bad as it might be. So we are now marching down towards the riverbank. And down here, it is still minus 17. You see those little huts over there? That's where we're going to head to initially and just see how cold we get. I'm not taken by this weather because, well, you could quite easily freeze to death in something like this. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, my temperature is definitely dropping and dropping quite quickly. Ooh, there's a deer over there. We're not in a position to start trying to hunt things yet. I mean, unless I'm wanting to chase down deer and throw books at it until it collapses, I don't think we're set up for this yet. But we'll probably get to the stage where we can start hunting things and stripping down the carcasses and getting hide and cured guts later on and meat, basically. So that'll be quite useful. But this is a nice place. I mean, this is, if you ignore the fact that it's, if you ignore the fact that your fingers are numb and that it's trying to kill you, this is quite a nice place to be. So it's minus 17, but if we go in here, we're a little bit sheltered, and it's minus 8 because the wind chill's gone down. Let's take the candy bar. Ooh, a fishing line. That's useful. I'll probably try and take everything from here, just because there's no point in leaving it somewhere where we're not going to stay. So what have we got? Ooh, a very sinister-looking balaclava. Let's put that on. Is that an accessory? Torso. Okay, it's slightly better. Oh, and my toque is 2% wet because we've been out in the snow. I wonder if I can put the toque over it. I can. Oh, that's slightly terrifying. Okay, fine. Oh, a hatchet. Awesome. That's useful. And tinder and cedar firewood. All of this is very useful stuff. That's a fishing hole. You can thaw it later on, for example, I believe by making a fire here, and then that will allow you to fish. I am so cold. You can see now that thing's popped up even without my me hitting tab. We should get back indoors and get into the warm. There is a little village over the lake, as that note mentioned, and another fishing. Okay, so I'm now at risk of getting hypothermia. So I need to get indoors. I'm going to run, because if I run, then at least that'll... It should, in theory, warm me up. I'm not sure it works like that, unfortunately. And I'm not sure how much stamina I'll have to get back there. But I think we'll get indoors, and then we'll take stock of the situation. Because as soon as the wind dies down a little, which it now appears it is, son of a... then that might allow us to... Is the wind chill dropping? Yes, it is. See, this is why you always take note of the weather. You know, had I waited a little bit and decided, no, I'll pass some more time indoors, then I would not be nearly as cold as I now am. But indoors, we should warm up fairly quickly. There we are. See, the temperature's coming back up. So let's drop off some of our well-gotten gains and put it into our top drawer. So what did we pick up? Well, we picked up the cedar firewood, which is handy. Picked up some newspaper, also useful. We are wearing all of our clothes, and we picked up a fishing line, but that weighs almost nothing, so we'll carry that with us. Yeah, I think we're okay. We're okay. Okay, we're indoors. We're in the relative warmth. 5. That's like a summer's day, and the hypothermia will go away now because the risk will drop now that we're coming back up gradually. So we will be absolutely fine. Okay, well, I think we will leave it there for now, and then next time, there we are, hypothermia risk gone. And next time, I think we will head back over the lake and hope that we don't freeze to death and see if we can explore the buildings on the other side. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, then please do feel free to, well, like this video. Thank you very much. See you soon.